During the mid-1900s, federal laws were telling the South to integrate schools. The South didn't care what the federal laws had to say, so the president gave special orders to U.S. Marshals to escort very few black students to a white school to integrate and learn. Lots of white people were very angry about this, and they started to riot and cause mobs. The riots and mobs went as far as threatening to kill the black students. One of the black students that was trying to integrate was Elizabeth Eckford, but her plans of integrating were very different than what happened. Elizabeth Eckford was one of the 9 black girls and boys selected by the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, to integrate Little Rock Central High School. She was one of the many stories of the Little Rock Nine.
Boy, I sure am excited to go to the white school. I'm dressing well today.
As Elizabeth approached the school, state guards wouldn't let her in and directed her to an angry mob of white students.
We must overcome the white power in the schools. We will win this fight.
The second day, all 9 kids went to school together. We will be brave, Carlotta. We will get in.
I sure hope so. I sure do.
2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate. 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate. 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate.
On the second day, they couldn't enter the school. It was too dangerous. A few days later, the president is informed of the insanity and sends federal guards to Little Rock.
Finally, we're going to be able to enter school. Thank God for President Eisenhower.
I know, but the whites ain't gonna stop hating. This is the way they are, Jefferson. They're mean, and that's how it'll always be. Don't get your hopes up, because this could crumble to the floor just as fast as everything else has for us.
They needed guards to walk to school.
2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate. 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate. I'll poison you in your sleep.
Ernest Green eventually graduated and no one clapped for him. The white people never treated the students equally, but the black students did get their share of education. Now schools aren't segregated, but some do still have better facilities than others. You can work hard to give poor schools money and help them have better supplies. You can prevent schools from clearly being better than yours. You can help. Ruby Bridges was a young first grader when she started her new white school, but her plans of integrating were very different than what happened. Ruby Bridges, a young first grader in the Deep South, was sent to a white school to integrate. The effects of trying to integrate for Ruby didn't turn out the way her family planned.
Ruby, a man from the NAACP came and said you got accepted into a white school. My little girl going to the best school in the state.
Oh, Mama, really?
Yeah, you start tomorrow. Now let's get ready.
Okay.
The next day.
Come on, Ruby, let's get in the car with these nice men who will take you to your new school.
Okay, Ruby, what I'm going to need you to do is do not look at the crowd. Just stand between me and him and do not look at the crowd.
2, 4, 6, 8. I'll kill you in your sleep. I'll poison you. I'll lynch you. Go back home. We don't want to integrate.
Oh, Lord, please forgive these terrible people. They don't know what they're saying.
We don't want to integrate.
Come on, Ruby, let's get
2,
inside.
4, 6, 8.
They don't know what they're saying, Ruby. Do you know what slavery is?
No.
It's when white people owned black people and made them work for no pay. But people like me who lived in the North knew it was wrong.
Later that night, Ruby's eating dinner.
Ruby, you haven't eaten all day.
Can I have potato chips and Coca-Cola?
Fine, Ruby.
The reason why Ruby would only eat packaged food and Coca-Cola is because the crowd and the protesters would say, "I'm going to poison you." That's why she wouldn't eat. 1 week after integration.
I want to come learn.
No.
Traitors!
Go back home. Do you want to play, Ruby?
Sure.
Yeah.
I told you it'll be all right.
After all these terrible events like the Little Rock Nine at their new high school and the story of Ruby Bridges, people started to realize that everyone should be treated the same no matter what skin color they are. And where are we today? Well, we still have segregation problems today. In fact, New York has the most segregated schools in America. As you can see, America hasn't changed that much since the 1900s, but people every day are fighting to make our world a better place.
Thank you.
Nice job, guys.
Well done.
The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory was one of the largest factories in New York City. Workers there were treated very poorly. The owner would lock the doors and windows so workers couldn't steal. They had no freedom. On Saturday of March 25th, 1911, 600 workers were in the factory yearning to go home. But today it seemed hotter than usual.
Some people even started to smell smoke. And then it hit. A roaring fire broke out, and the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory went up in flames. Many workers were injured, and 146 were found dead in the building.
Good evening, Max. How are you doing?
I'm fine, but I'm afraid I've just bought a gold-plated yacht that costs $20 million. I must get some money to make up for that.
Oh dear, that's horrible. How about we burn down one of our properties for insurance money?
Max and Isaac had a suspicious history, but they exploited their insurance and made wads of money. But they did not intend for the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory to burn down.
There's no smoke. It's really hot in here. It smells like something's burning.
Look! Fire! Let's get out!
Wait, my sister's stuck. I have to go save her. Who's stuck in here? Help me. Let's go!
We're trying.
Can't get her.
Look, she's fainted!
We have to go.
No, we have to save her!
It's too late. She's gone. I got them.
Oh, it's so... I can't see anything with all the smoke. Oh, they're all dead. They're all dead down here. I need to get to the next floor.
After the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory disaster, many people learned that working in a factory is very hard. After the fire happened, it opened the world to the hardships of working in a factory. New labor laws came in place, and it motivated many people to strike. Now workers have all rights. The Triangle Shirtwaist Factory was a step towards workers' freedom.
It was August 18th, 1920, when women got the right to vote. Many people thought that was the end of fights for women's rights, but soon people came to realize that they were wrong. Voting was just one obstacle of the century. Women had many rights that were denied to them, and they were done being treated as less. This is a story about how women struggle for their rights every day.
But I still can't have my own credit card.
And men can harass me and I can't do anything about it.
Me and my husband have the same job and he gets paid more.
I can't get a good education because of my gender.
I got fired just because I was pregnant. Women need more rights! No, that's not the way it should be. Women should lose and men should fly free.
What more could they need? We already gave them the right to vote.
Yeah, they're so selfish and keep asking for more.
Do you really think this is right for us women to be treated like we're nothing? Have you heard how bad it is in other places like in Pakistan?
I know. Men who don't believe in women's rights paint black paint over women's windows so only men they know can see their beauty. Also, when women go outside, they have to have a man with them.
Do you really think this is right?
It's 1921. Women have received the right to vote.
Ah, what a beautiful day in the park.
You shouldn't be in the park. Only men belong here. Go clean your house or something.
That's not fair. Women belong everywhere you do.
Respect men or you'll be sorry.
Congratulations, you got your first paycheck.
Yes.
Finally got our first paychecks.
What? This is so unfair.
I know. My husband works at the same job and he gets double.
It's true that women got less salary than men did.
But women were fed up. They wanted to fight back. Women were gathering at the Baptist church.
Settle down, ladies. Settle down. Our speech is about to begin.
It is true that men think of women as less than themselves.
We're just on this planet to cook and clean and care. But is that true? No!
We are receiving too little, yet they think we're asking for too much.
Yeah! We don't even have the right to our own credit card. They fire us just because we're pregnant.
They harass us and we have no choice but to suffer their taunts. Is that okay?
No!
It's true that men considered themselves more than women.
But women fought back. Women such as Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were very persistent.
Ladies, let's stand together and fight for our rights!
Even though women fought hard for their rights, some of them still aren't fully granted. For example, women still get less pay than men, even if they have a harder job. Women have come a long way, and they definitely have more rights and opportunities than they used to. But they still have less chances in the world than men. There still has never been a woman president in the USA. I hope that women will get all their rights that they deserve in the future.
The end. The end. The end. The end. The end.
The Civil War had been won, equality for all. Yet nearly a century later, a group of protesters meet in Selma fighting for their rights. In 1870, President Ulysses S. Grant signed the 15th Amendment, which states that blacks have the right to vote. Everything seemed perfect, but angry Southerners found ways around the law and denied the blacks the right to vote. They had to pay about a day's wages to vote, while whites could freely cast their ballot without handing over a penny. It was nearly impossible for blacks to register. At one point, 90 blacks lined up to register, but only 6 succeeded. John Lewis, a black man from Alabama, helped organize a march on January 30th, 1965, from Selma to Montgomery, the state's capital. The governor, George Wallens, ordered state troops and police to block their path. Bloody Sunday had begun. January 30th, 1965. John Lewis is leading a march from Selma to Montgomery.
This march will not continue. I suggest you turn around and go home.
We will not turn around.
You have a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Get them!
Get their leader.
Oh. The state troopers ran forward and beat up the blacks. John Lewis was seriously injured. His head cracked open. They turn around and start running back to Selma, thus ending the first battle march from Selma to Montgomery. After 2 attempts to achieve equal voting rights, President Johnson has signed the Voting Rights Act. The government, which was formerly there to fight, was now marching alongside them. The state troopers and police held weapons, but they were going to be used to protect them, not harm. John Lewis successfully healed his head and is ready for another march.
We have a voice.
We want to use it! We should be able to register without being harassed.
We want to vote, so let us.
The Constitution says all men are created equal and we are not being treated like equals.
We will let you pass.
We are here to protect you now.
The March for Voting Rights was a success. John Lewis and his companions won equal voting rights for all. Now not half, but the whole country has a voice in the elections. Sadly, some people today don't exercise the right to vote. In the 2016 election, 46% of the country did not vote. 14 states placed new restrictive voting laws before the 2016 election, including in Wisconsin and Ohio. Voting rights are still a big issue today, but people like John Lewis and his marchers are still fighting for their rights.
Disclaimer. Anything that me or Henry says is for historical purposes and does not represent what we really think. 1954, New Jersey. A New Jersey black family moved to Alabama. Life was just too expensive. After their mother died, they could not pay the bills. The cast is me as Flapjack, Henry as Buster, Vincent as Grandpa Ernie. He's 91. Ethan as Steve, and he's 24. Lucas, or 42, sorry. Lucas is 10 and he's little Timmy. And I'm the narrator.
Gosh darn, something's not right in this weather.
Look at all the stores.
Papa, where's our house?
I don't know, Sonny. We'll just have to follow the signs to see where the house is.
I'm hungry. Can we get something to eat? Oh, there's a grocery store right around the corner.
And while we're there, we can get something for dinner as well. They didn't know that the store was white only and they were being watched.
Hey, what's that? Whatever. Let's get something to eat. Hey, what are you punks doing here?
This is white only, you lizards!
You don't want any trouble.
There's a sign right over there.
We didn't see no sign. No, we're fine. We'll let you shop here just once, but at a price. So, 36 pound hot dog. Hey, little Timmy! Little Timmy, you want hot dogs or hamburgers?
After research with the cops, they found a mangled body of little Timmy behind the town store.
How could they do this to my son? I don't know, Stevie. I don't know. What's their problem? I don't know. I don't know. How could they do that to a 10-year-old? As I've said before, I don't know. Lizard. You monsters. Why could it have been me? Why? One day.
This play is based on what happened to Emmett Till in the dark days of segregation, so we wanted to shed some light on the people's suffrage. He did not know that this would cause any trouble. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old boy who was brutally murdered just for saying "bye, baby" to a wife.